Donald Trump has not been shy about letting the entire world know that he is extremely frustrated and angry that he has to sit in a courtroom for the next few weeks. And insiders, according to a new report from CNN, are now terrified that that anger building up inside of Donald Trump every day is going to manifest itself inside the courtroom with Donald Trump simply exploding. Here is what CNN's Dana Bash reported. I was just talking to somebody who was very involved in his political world who said that the way that they're going to structure the strategy is they're going to take their cues from the Trump legal world, meaning what we're going to hear from the Trump attorneys inside the courtroom is going to be echoed rather quickly by his political campaign, and that's obviously in part just kind of to get the echo chamber out. But it's also because there is frustration that comes from the top. That comes from Donald Trump about his gag order that they were talking about in New York that we've been talking about for weeks. Now, because it does limit, just on the raw politics of this, it does limit in their ability to, let's say there's a witness and they want to put some dirt out on the witness. The gag order doesn't allow them to do that. And the one thing I will also add is that a source familiar with Trump's thinking told me this morning that he is just mad at the world that he's in the courtroom. But being mad that you're in a courtroom is one thing. Controlling that anger and not allowing the jury to see how unhinged you are, that is another thing entirely. Donald Trump so far has not done a good job of holding back that anger inside the courtroom. He has not necessarily had any outbursts, but he has, of course, been admonished by the judge for muttering about a juror while that juror was speaking, got in trouble for that. He has rolled his eyes, he has sighed heavily, he has shaken his head when the judge has been talking. And all of that is done out of frustration. But here's the thing. It's not just the frustration that he's inside a courtroom and not out there campaigning. Trump is frustrated because he can't control anything that's happening. He is sitting there helpless for one of the first times in his life. He can't leave. He can't not show up. He can't talk. He can't do anything. And that is what is truly driving him mad. He's just a regular guy in that courtroom, and he can't stand the thought of that. And that is what is causing this anger inside of him to boil over. That's why every day when he walks out of that courtroom, he immediately goes and finds those reporters to rant and rave about what happened that day. Not because he has to get it off his chest, but because he needs to feel important again. He needs to feel like there are people listening to him. We already know that he's getting super pissed off that nobody's showing up to protest him or protest in his honor that the trial is happening. You know, he's had a handful of weirdos here and there, but that's about it. All of this is making him angry. And eventually, if this continues, it will be to the point where he's no longer able to control that rage inside the courtroom. And once that happens, it's game over for him. That jury is watching his every move. Every head shake, every eye roll, every whisper to his lawyers, that jury is paying attention. And the more he does it, the worse it looks for him. And if he goes beyond that, if he has an outburst, if he has an audible like, ugh, that's going to hurt him. This trial is different than any other thing Donald Trump has ever faced in his life. And we've seen him in the past. He has not been able to control himself in other trials. So we'll see what happens with this one. But if the insiders, the people close to him, are any indication, they're expecting him to blow up any day now.